is a different way. Skype, tips on how to use Skype, because if you don't use ReadyTalk, Skype is an obvious free service that for a small group actually works pretty well. For up to 6 or maybe 10 people, Skype works pretty well. But up to 20, I'm suspicious.
Yeah,
it gets a little bit shaky. We take notes at our meetings. These are the leaders' meetings. So at the last meeting, here are the notes that were taken actually during the meeting. Typing the notes during the meeting, everybody could see it. And since we were using ReadyTalk, we could record those meetings. And so over here on the Global Systems Science site, we actually have an archive of the Lifelines recordings. Now, we record all the presentations. Like, for instance, here's a presentation about digital Earthwatch software, which is, I would actually should do a whole presentation on that because it's similar. It has similarities to SALSA-J. It's an image processing software, but it's designed for Earth satellite images or digital images from a camera, and more analysis of color. Okay, color images and analysis of color for analyzing vegetation, for instance, health of vegetation, things like that, surface features.
Just play one for 5 seconds, see what it sounds like.
What's that?
Can you play one for 5 seconds so we can hear what it sounds like? What it's going to sound like?
Well, no, I think they're big files. They'll download. You can go there and play it at some point. But just to conclude this part of my talk, because I do want to, we do have to get. We have people in Indonesia who are presenting next, and we need to get them connected up. But there's a there's the details that we have. Like, these are the various leaders, and we keep track of our recruitment. How many people did various people recruit for their PLC. And each of them actually have their own website. Some of them have created Google sites. And some of them have their own, school district site that they can use that's free. Usually it's whatever's free is what you want to use. And so each of them has these sites. Fran Hess, by the way, this person here is really a go-getter. You know how it is, and when you have a project, some people are kind of like not really doing a whole lot. Other people are like, going at it. And she has like about 3 or 4 PLCs. One of them is an iPad-focused PLC. How do you use iPads to teach climate change education in classes? And when she publicized that, she got a whole bunch of people instantly interested in it. I don't know, not exactly sure why that is, but so anyway. And then there's the presentations that we have by various scientists. Like, this is Annette Schloss, who is at the University of New Hampshire, and they run a website, a database-like website that is the archive of satellite images. And so she gave a talk on how to access their website, how to download those satellite images, and various things you can do with them. Laura Tenenbaum is with NASA, JPL, and they have a whole climate.nasa.gov site. So she went through all of the interesting resources that are available there. And I think that will conclude the part 1 of my presentation, which is just about our climate change project. Are there any questions?
Can you make a mailing list from the Google site?
Google has a mailing list function. All of their tools are kind of interrelated in a way. So Sites is its own function, and I think they have groups, Google Groups it's called. So that would be the function. Yeah.
Those, for example, the tips on using Skype, which I would be interested in, can I access that site without a password?
Yes. Okay. Yes, this is public. This is a public site. So how
again with
Skype help is here. Actually, it's very very, very basic things. And if there are more, if we come up with more tips to add, then we will add them.
Is this sustainable, Alan? I mean, you keep this going on in between funding?
No. Well, yes and no. I mean, the grant is for 3 years, and so beyond that, it's unclear as to how it sustains. It depends on the leaders. If they get their local funding, then of course they go on. Each PLC
Yeah,
goes
the
on.
question is, the community will continue, will be steady in between funding?
Well, the community is steady in as much as the Global System Science Project is steady. So as long as the Global System Science Project survives, then I would say that this would survive.
And that is only American, it's only U.S., right?
Global System Science. Right now, I guess it is. It's not defined that way, and we've had interest from other countries, like I think Georgia. Some guy from Georgia called in and said, "Can we use your curriculum? And we want to translate it into Georgia." So, no, it's not strictly U.S., but it's mostly U.S.
I think the statistics on, the longevity of teachers, even though we probably tend to, this isn't a blanket statement, we tend to attract teachers who are longer term committed, but the average, maybe the median lifetime of a U.S. science teacher is 5 years. See? So they, that kind of, you take a hit.
Can you say how this fits in with the GLOBE project?
GLOBE.
Competition is complementary?
It's complementary. GLOBE, we would consider GLOBE one of the possible resources for teaching about climate change.
Okay.
And I'm not sure how they would view our project if they're even aware of it. So, yes, there's a relationship, but it's not a formal relationship. Okay.
No, thanks, speaker. Alan.
Thank you.
Can I just walk to the next week? About the book, about the one for the U.S. is in private Google domain, and actually it looks like you can get one through Berkeley. Vivian actually has one through Chicago, and the only problem is China to that.
Hooked up? Is she hooked
So
up?
you can't communicate with China.
Wow.
Yeah.
However, I do know a person that Google hired, who's Chinese, that Google hired, who's now in China, in Beijing, that is working on the Google with China. And I just sent one of my friends over there.
Thank you. Please stand by.